I'm breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realized it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love.
Whoa, here we are. You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything, anything that you desire. And you can do that right now. You don't need anything special because you have that power right now. Welcome. I'm the Reverend Dr. Reverend, however that goes. Jay Willick. I'm the senior minister here at the New Thought Spiritual Center. And we're so happy that you have decided to bring your beautiful consciousness, radiate your love with our love right here this morning at our Sunday celebration, symposium, workshop. We kind of do it all. It's not really your kind of churchy service. We like to flip things around, do things a little different. We kind of teach, we inspire, we do everything that we can do in an hour. I have some great special guests today for you, as well as all the other great stuff we do. So the principles. We have principles here. We have a video for you to watch, just less than a minute, on our statement of principles, what the New Thought Spiritual Center is all about. Have a watch. That video, it's just so dramatic and movie cinematic, as they say. Well, every month we highlight one of our statements of principles. And this month we are highlighting our mission statement, which you can see right there behind me: bust through, soar, and zoom. And when you bust through, soar, and zoom, we're not just talking about, moving forward from the negative stuff. positive things going on in your life, sometimes you want to upgrade those. And when you do, you are busting through, soaring, and zooming, whatever it is that needs to be done to upgrade that wonderfulness, that goodness. There's a great quote right here that you can't see because of the way the camera is. It's a quote from Richard Bach. Richard Bach wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, another book called Illusions, mostly in the, I believe, 70s and 80s. But this is a great quote from Richard Bach. And it says, "To fly as fast as thought, you must begin by knowing that you have already arrived." You have to begin by knowing you have already arrived. That's what we talk about all the time here at the New Thought Spiritual Center. How to think as if you have already arrived, using your imagination, using your feelings, using your constant use of your spiritual practices to believe, to be in that experience, even before it shows up in the 3D reality we are. Bust through, soar, and zoom. One of our spiritual practices in this teaching is called spiritual mind treatment. It's an affirmative prayer. It's like prayer, but it's an affirmative prayer where we affirm what it is we have decided to declare to the universe to bring forth into our life. Whatever that is, can be a thing, an object, could be an idea of a peace of mind or things like that. And I'd like to start this section of our gathering today with a spiritual mind treatment. And after that, we'll step into some of our special guests for this week. So in order to do this, you could be anywhere, anytime. You don't have to have a special place. You don't have to have an altar, although you can if you like, if that makes you feel more connected. When we do a spiritual mind treatment, we are communing with the universe. You can call the universe what it is you want. You want to say God, say God. It matters not. Nature, love, peace, the power, and the presence. Just know that that is what you're communing with. That energy that is all around you. Okay? Little lesson in affirmative prayer there for you. So join me in taking 3 deep breaths. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, slow, through our nose. And then I'd like you to exhale through your mouth. Okay? We're going to do that 3 times, and then you go ahead and step into your natural breathing rhythm. Here you go. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You don't have to. And let's take that first deep breath in through our nose. Oh, hold that wonderful oxygen in your lungs. Let it out through your mouth. Let's do the second one. In deep and holding it. 3, 2, 1, letting it out. One more time, slowing things down. Deep breath. Beautiful. Hold it. And then exhale. And put your mind on your breathing. And if you will, put 1 or 2 of your hands on your heart. Connect to that heartfelt brain you have, we all have. And know this with me, that there is one mind, one powerful mind in the universe, the creative force of the universe. This energy, this mind, this frequency is within each and every one of us right now as well, living its life as the individual called you. This is the law of you. The law of you states that within you is the power and presence of that creative force in the universe, that big bang, that singularity that began it all, that continues it all, that expands even as we live, even past as we live. This energy, this force, this frequency of love, of light, expands forever and ever. And each and every one of us is a part of it, using our version of its power, our individualized version of its power, to manifest into our lives that which we have decided to have. And I declare for each and every one of us the decision to have more love in our lives, more kindness and respect, greater expression of our creative talents at work, at home, that our body temple experiences this power and presence in the health that we enjoy, the health that we improve, the health that we have. This power and presence also works through the affluence that we have in pocketbook, in life, in society, at work, at play, and the influence that we have as well. This is the power and presence within, constantly expanding. This is the law of you. This is the law of me, of all of us. And the law of you states that in this light, wisdom, beauty, power comes to us immediately, as requested, as decided upon, as declared, as we declare in this moment. And so I release this word in abundant gratitude, in appreciation of knowing this, being this, living this, speaking this truth, this law of you. As we release this word and together we say, and so it is. The law of you. If you want further explanation of what the law of you is all about, watch last week's talk. It's about the greatest law there is. I talk about the 36 or so, depending on what book you read, spiritual laws, and found one that wasn't in there. And that is the one that encompasses them all, and that is the law of you. Watch that. That was last week's talk. This week, like I said, special guests. We have returning. They weren't with us last month, so this is very exciting. The Reverends Gary and Barbara Oltman. Gary's going to step up first because he's going to give us a little talk, kind of give us an idea of what he's been working on and what he wants to inspire us to work on, as well as give our affirmative incantation for the week and probably another wonderful spiritual mind treatment. So here he comes. Is he there? Is Gary there? Da, da, da. There he is.
Hello,
Vice
world.
President, Reverend. I don't know which is first there, Reverend or Vice President.
Whichever, yeah, as long as you call me.
My friends, the Reverend
All right.
Gary Oltman.
Beautiful treatment. Thank you for that treatment, Reverend Dr. J. At the New Thought Spiritual Center, let me just add on to that a little bit. We teach there is one mind, and what Jay did so beautifully was speak his word, speak a word of truth about his experience, which could be our experience. And he placed it in that one mind. And we can experience that. We can take from that. And we experience it at that treatment at the level of our receptivity to it. If we have no receptivity to it, it's just going to float on by us. But if there's something that spoke to you in there, and you heard it, and you are receptive to it, it can enrich your experience and enrich your life. Thanks again, Jay. And somebody wrote once and they wrote, when we are young, our mind is on the future. And when we are old, our mind is on the past. And when we're in the middle, we experience a midlife crisis. And I think that is because we're not practiced in being in the moment. Our mind is full of lots of things, and sometimes they distract us from being present in the moment. Sometimes Barbara and I call these little shiny objects. It's like being, there's a shiny object. There's a shiny object. And it's like they distract you from what's going on right in front of you. I mean, if I was a fish in a lake, I wouldn't have lasted long. That shiny object would have hooked me and pulled me right out of there. But mindfulness to me is being in the moment, not only fully experience what's happening in that moment, but being an open channel to intuition. Ernest Holmes, I've said before, defines intuition as God in man. And to be fair, I'll say as God in woman too. So in the moment, in any moment, let's allow some space to hear what intuition has to offer for us. Let's allow that internal thing to come forth that is God through us. When we do that, we'll experience and create a more fulfilling experience in that moment. Let me see if I can relate this to a simple little game I play every day called Wordle. And it's a daily game. It's in the New York Times. And you have 6 chances to come up with a 5-letter word. You put in your first word. Word most likely is wrong. Getting it the first time is almost impossible. Not impossible, almost. But so you get it wrong, but it shows you the correct letters, and you can build on those letters through the remaining 5 tries until you get the word right, or you might not get the solution at all. The other day, I was, starting the game and sat back for a moment, and a word came to my mind immediately, and I guess that would be intuition. Intuition wasn't the word, but that was what spoke the word to me. Earlier that day, however, I saw my brother-in-law's solution on Facebook to Wordle. And so it doesn't show the words, it just shows the letters and how he got them and what his path to victory was. So George is a pretty darn good wordler, and but I happen to know he plays the same 2 words all the time. And I knew what those were. And I also noticed in his game that he got those letters. He got a lot of letters in those first 2 words. And what it had me doubting the use of the first word that came to my mind. And I questioned it, and I didn't use it. So you allowed that outside influence, something outside of myself, to guide my experience. Chose a different word, and lo and behold, I should have stuck to my intuition. I should have never doubted it, because the first word I heard was the correct word for the puzzle, and I would have gotten my first 1-word solution on the first try. The word was doubt. Doubt was the solution to the puzzle. So I thought that was a pretty interesting experience, and it reminded me to always trust what my mind brings forth intuitively. Because remember, Holmes says intuition is God in man and woman. Intuition is that God-given guidance. And God only knows intuitively. God does not reason or use an evaluative process. The correct course of action is God-given to us. It makes what appears impossible. Well, it removes the I am from impossible and makes it possible. God will I am you. God will instant message you the possible. Ernest Holmes also wrote, I believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual, and that any person may become a revealer of truth or get the right word in Wordler the first time. Oh, never mind. Who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. So, any person may become a reveler of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. So let's take the moments we have and the moments we're paying attention and allow that indwelling presence to source our experiences, source the words that come out of our mouths that we're sharing with others, source the love that we give to the world. And we won't go wrong, because the correct course of action is God-given at any moment. For today's reading, I have something from John O'Donohue, and he wrote, "May this be a morning of innocent beginning, when the gift within you slips clear of the sticky web of the personal, with its hurts and its hauntings and fixed fortress corners. A morning when you become a pure vessel for what wants to ascend from the silence. May your imagination know the grace of perfect danger to reach beyond limitation and the wheel of repetition, deep into the call of all. The unfinished and unresolved under the veil of the unknown yields, and something original begins to steer toward your senses and grow stronger in your heart." Beautiful. All right, let's jump right into today's affirmative incantation, written by our leader, Reverend Dr. J. And here it is up on the screen. You can follow along with me. I'll read it to you. "I reveal my true self at all times and make choices aligned with my heart, mind, and gut. The people that I attract vibrate at the same frequency of love, respect, kindness, and prosperity as I do. Joy, the communion of me and the creative energy of the universe, is my natural state. I am at peace with my purpose, my integrity, my body, and my thoughts. I live a wise and heartfelt life." Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's jump into a quick treatment. Some words I'll place also out there in the one mind for us. But mainly, I treat for myself to align myself right now with that inner presence, that indwelling guide. Because I am one with it. I am it. I am one with it. I am it, having this experience right now in this moment as that presence, as that life force, as that grace, as that beauty, as that abundance, as that prosperity, as that love, as that fullness of life. All those possibilities out there. Through all of them comes to me that instant message in any moment of which one I choose to lift up this day, to lift up what may be perceived as a bad experience, or lift up what may be perceived as a good experience into a new moment, a new revelation. When I walk through this world, always aware and awake to that indwelling presence to guide every choice. And those choices are solid because they were God-given through me, and as you make those choices. I trust that each one serves you for not only your highest good, but the world's highest good. because together we are on a path of amazing grace, an amazing life together. Let's just have fun. Let's have laughter and joy. Let's experience together. Let's get out there and live it to the fullest. Just simply, with a grateful heart, release these words into that one mind out there. I know they're anchored in me and they're available for you if you'd like and are receptive for them. I welcome your use of those words. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is.
Yeah. Yes, and so it is. Thank you, Reverend Gary. Gary and Barbara are going to change places before Barbara sings for us this morning. I love that Wordle story. I don't know much about Wordle. I've seen it. I've heard about it. As well as Gary and Barbara, I know people who do Wordle, but what a great story, and how perfect that the word you doubted was doubt. That's such a great story. We have to step into our intuition. We have to learn to understand it. I totally get the idea that sometimes you doubt your intuition, but that's usually because you're confusing, because I've done it too, your intuition with a trigger that might make you think there's a red flag, and so you don't follow the intuition, or a trigger that you feel is intuition and you follow it, and of course it probably gets you in trouble. But that's something in the mindfulness, and we'll talk about that in a few moments, is I'm getting the wave. Barbara is ready. She's got a great song for you. My friends, please enjoy Reverend Barbara Holtman.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Jay, for that. I loved the affirmation today, the affirmative incantation. And thank you, Gary, for your words and your treatment. And here we go for today. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah, for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. scent of the pines, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I feel so good. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good, feeling good. That was beautiful, and a song by Anthony Newley and Leslie Brickus from their show, I believe, Roar of the Grease Paint, Smell of the Crowd. The word mindfulness has been bandied about for, I don't know, a few decades now. It's kind of an in thing, an in word in New Thought and New Age and meditation, etc. It's a form of meditation practice, actually, and a form of life practice, actually, being mindful. But it originates from the Buddhist tradition, so it's been around thousands of years. Mindfulness is the ability to be non-judging, to have patience and alertness, have beginner's mind or kindergarten mind, as some people might say, and trust, to learn trust in the world. It's the ability to be non-striving as you pursue, as you declare, as you bring into your life whatever it is you have decided to manifest, to not be striving towards it, to allow yourself to thrive even before it shows up here in the 3D world, to be present, to be in the now, as they say, to practice acceptance and letting go, that radical forgiveness, to be in gratitude and generosity and appreciation of your life. The benefits of doing mindful practice is self-control within a state of alertness, because you're very alert to what's going on around you. And yet you have self-control, you're calm, you're centered, you're grounded. Having objectivity and an enhanced flexibility to what's going on. Oh, this is not working. Well, then I will change tactics, and all's there and all's good, and it's smooth. No matter what approaches you, it becomes a flexibility that becomes smooth. Your concentration gets improved. Your mental clarity gets improved. And so too, the clarity of your description, your imagination, your envisioning of that which you have decided to manifest next. It upgrades your emotional intelligence, and many of us need that, and occasionally I need that myself. And the ability to relate to others and oneself with a non-judgment, a kindness, an acceptance and compassion. And all of these things, they're wonderful to achieve, of course. They make life easier. They may make life more exciting, happier, joyful, more joyful. And I talk about this practice all the time. I don't usually use the word mindfulness, but I'm talking about the abilities that come from it and the results of using this practice. The title of my talk today is The Fullness of Mind. And I want to remind you about keeping the mind full. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Keeping the mind full with the best thoughts, full of the most magnificent ideas, full with that which you have decided to experience, full of those visions, envisioning, full of that envisioning, imagination plus feeling idea and tool to bring forth into your life that which you have decided to manifest. Because, manifestation can be very simple. It's usually not easy necessarily, especially when we're working on changing our perspective about life, our beliefs and subconscious thoughts and triggers. Lao Tzu once asked, do you have patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? Till that intuition, that DM, that direct message, that instant message from the universe informs you of what to do next? Can you have the patience for that? Can you live like the example of the dirty water? You remember this example? I've talked about it before. The glass of dirty water, and you constantly drench it with clean water, and eventually what you get in this glass will be clean water. And so too must we use this practice with our thoughts. Because as we continuously fill our mind with the imagination, the ideas, the words, and the feelings of experiencing a new car, a new house, a better relationship at work or play or whatever, peace of mind, or any declaration we are manifesting, so too will we change the dirty waters in our mind, in our subconscious, in our belief system, to the clarity of which is needed for the creation of it to show up in our lives. And in the changing of that perspective, be open to accepting the actuality of manifesting that thing or idea into form, into our experience. You can use the tools of spiritual mind treatment, journal in some way, joining the affirmation revolution, and use the affirmative incantations I write. Set your phone timer to beep every once in a while and take that moment to be remindful to yourself of what you have decided to bring into your life. And staying aware of your self-talk. What is it you're saying in your head to yourself? The words and thought forms that feed one or the other wolf in your mind. Do you remember that story? Remember the story of the grandfather telling the tale of the two wolves? It's a tale that describes the power of mindfulness, what you fill your mind with. What you fill your mind with is what you experience eventually. It is a story that I think bears constant rereading as it delivers new wisdom each time, at least to me. So I'm going to tell you this story again. One evening, an old Cherokee told his grandchildren about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My children, the battle is between two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret. It's greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. Both inferiority and superiority. The other," he says to his grandchildren, "is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Well, which wolf wins?" And the old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." Now, usually the story ends there. And somebody telling the story starts talking about, feeding that wolf and what that all means. But actually, I found out this time as I looked up that story again and made sure I had written it down correctly, that there's a few more sentences in the original tradition of the Cherokee to that story. And it goes like this. The grandfather talking still. If you feed them right, they both win. You see, if I only choose to feed the light wolf, the dark wolf will be hiding around every corner, waiting for me to become distracted or weak and jump in to get the attention he craves. He will always be angry and will always fight the light wolf. But if I acknowledge him, the grandfather continued, he is happy, and the light wolf is happy, and we all win. For the dark wolf has many qualities: tenacity, courage, fearlessness, strong-willed, and great strategic thinking that I have need for at times. These are the very things the light wolf lacks. But the light wolf has compassion, caring, strength, and the ability to recognize what is in the best interest of all. You see, children, the light wolf needs the dark wolf at his side, at her side. To feed only one would starve the other, and they will become uncontrollable. To feed and care for both means they will serve you well and do nothing that is not a part of something greater, something good, something of a magnificent life. Feed them both, and there will be no more internal struggle for your attention. And when there is no battle inside, you can listen to the voices of deeper knowing that will guide you in choosing what is right in every circumstance. Peace, my children, is the Cherokee mission in life. A man or woman who has peace inside has everything. A man or woman who is pulled apart by the war inside of him or her has nothing. How you choose to interact with the opposing forces within you will determine your life. Starve one or the other, or guide them both. Yeah? Have you ever heard that second half? It's amazing. We are not to ignore the dark wolf, our shadow, as you might phrase it in a psychological term, in a Jungian term, our shadow. We turn away, yes, we turn away from its addictions to anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority or superiority, lies, the triggers, the false pride, the ego when we edge God out, when we don't allow the intuition from the universe to energize us, to inform us, to educate us. And at the same time, we still use its tenacity, its courage, its fearlessness, its strong will, and great strategic thinking to conquer our fears, our ideas of lack and limited thinking, some of which we've had for decades. And yet, no matter how long we've had these junk ideas, we can eliminate them. We can put them aside. We can make them not have dominion over our life. Doing that, feeding both, allows the inclusiveness of the non-judging, the patience, the alertness, the beginner's mind, the trust, being present, practicing acceptance and letting go of the past, being in gratitude and generosity, all of those things that are in mindfulness practices. With the law of you, we combine those with the law of you and your use of the law of cause and effect, my use of the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, in command and in control of it. not just saying these words and keep hearing from ourselves. No, you're not. No, it's not. That's not going to show up. You don't have any power. We can turn away from that junk idea and yet use the power from the dark wolf that brings forth those junk ideas and bring it into the light. Use it for the light. Use it for the law of you to bring forth that which you have decided to have in your life. Like I have said, manifesting all of life is full. It's a full body holistic experience, right? It's not just a mental experience. It's your whole body. You got to get your whole body into it. You got to use what I call the divine matrix of brain, heart, and gut, the intuition, the imagination, and also use your full mind, not just your full brain, but your full mind, the mind of God that is within you, the energy, the intelligence of the divine that is already there within you, that is just waiting there for you to request its use, request its ideas. And thus you have mindfulness, not just mindfulness. Feed the strengths of light, love, peace, patience, and wisdom, while you use the strengths of the dark, tenacity, cleverness, and courage. Be mindful with the strengths of the dark and the strengths of the light to achieve what you have conceived. Like the dark matter of space and the light of pure energy combined to make this universe, so too can you bust through, soar, and zoom into your best life using your powerful manifesting machine, the fullness of mind. So use your mindfulness practices, whatever they may be, or whatever combination that they are, to be mindful, F-U-L-L, mindful. And watch how your life increases with joy, happiness, peace, love, grace, and all that you have declared it should be. Thank you so much. Namaste. Let us place our hands on our hearts and together declare our love offering blessing. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you for your blessed love offerings. For blessed love offerings, we appreciate so much that you support our vision of this center to bring forth into everyone's life the action of vibrating at the speed of the divine and inspiring and educating people through our many sources, including these on social media. Watch this. This is where we are. Yeah, TikTok. I'm on TikTok. We're on TikTok. We do the affirmative incantation, talk a little bit about what we talked about every Sunday on TikTok. So a new one will go up in probably an hour or so. I do it right after our gathering on Sunday mornings, and it's a fun way. And I want to thank everyone who has joined us there and subscribed to us. Is that subscribed on TikTok? I'm not sure. Followed us. I think it's followed us on TikTok. We are way over 1,000 now, and we're growing every week, and it's kind of fun to see it growing and to comment to your comments and become a little community there as well. How did that all happen? I'll tell you about the TikTok thing. Started when I was putting the finishing touches on the book and getting the book out. And did you know I wrote a book? I did. Here's where you can get it. Yes, you can get that right now, either in paperback or on Kindle. And especially on the paperback, I encourage you to write notes and just write it all up. Things you're thinking, use it as a journal. There's plenty of blank space here and there for you to enjoy the notes on the essays that you read and the affirmative incantations for the month. Each month has a theme. You can start anytime. Don't worry about starting in January. Start right now or use a different month. Whatever you feel like you're working on that month, go to that month. Doesn't have to be September. Anyway, it's available right now at Amazon. So thank you all for those who have purchased it and those who are about to purchase it. We appreciate you. Thank you. So we have come to near the end of our broadcast this morning. And before we get to the final song, which is a Cat Stevens song, and you'll recognize it. It's a cover. It's not Cat Stevens singing it, but it's quite a great cover of it. And I won't even tell you the name of it because you'll see. It's one of his most famous songs, and it really goes with what we're talking about today. So before we get to that, let us close our eyes. If it's comfortable for you, take a deep breath with me. Let these ideas that we talked about today fill our mind. And know this with me. This powerful mind, the mind of God, the mind of the divine, the power and presence, the force of the Big Bang, that mind is our mind. We individualize that mind right here, right now, forevermore. We always did, we always will. And I declare from this moment on that we fill our mind full of the peace, joy, love, affluence, influence, inspiration, love, joy, beauty, peace, and grace of the light wolf. The one that lights the way for us to have a magnificent life, to bring forth in a grounded and centered way the magnificent ideas we have decided to create into our lives, to bring forth and manifest into our lives, to demonstrate our perspective that life is good and we are good in it. And we too invite the strengths and power of the dark wolf, knowing that it brings the tenacity, the strategic thinking, the clarity of focus that we need to bring forth these ideas into manifestation. We feed them both their due right here and now when we take that power and that presence and that intelligence to bring forth the best parts of our body temple, of our career and creative joys, of our relationships, romantically, familial, and others. And of course, our pocketbook, to bring forth into that pocketbook that which we have decided we require, whatever the dollar amount is. We use that power and presence, that beauty and peace and grace of both the light and dark wolf to bring forth into our lives right here and now with clarity and consistency, with love and grace, that which we have decided to have. We do that here. We do that right now. We do that with appreciation and grace and gratitude that we have used the best of us, that we have used the fullness of our mind and our beingness to be happy, healthy, wealthy. Life is ours to be, and we be it with joy. And so I release this word. Let it go forth into the universe that always says yes. As together we say, and so it is. Hallelujah. Amen. Omen. Abracadabra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much. Peace in your mind, peace in your body, peace in your life, my friends. We'll see you next week. Have a most beautiful and gorgeous and succulent week, full of a mind of power. Thank you so much. Namaste.
to